This is a short video that was created by the ITAA Design Review Committee to assist in design exhibition reviewers in preparing to conduct their evaluation of undergraduate, graduate, and professional designs. The content of this training video will briefly explain the purpose of the ITAA design exhibition, discuss the evaluation rubric and its components, provide context for what happens after you complete your review, provide suggestions for your reviewing process, as well as share some best practices for reviewing the design works presented to you. The purpose of the ITAA design exhibition is to provide a platform for textile and apparel design students and professionals to validate the quality of their work through a double-blind peer review process. The purpose also is to foster the generation and dissemination of new knowledge in the field of textiles and apparel. The full design exhibition call for proposals is on the ITAA website. You can click on the link or search in your web browser to find the full call as well as all the supplemental documents for the ITAA design exhibition. There are some general guidelines for designers who submit work to the ITAA exhibition. Work submitted must have been executed within the last 3 years. They should not have been previously shown at an ITAA annual conference. The works must be constructed by the designers, and they must be completed at the time of submission. Up to 3 entries per designer or co-design team may be submitted for consideration in the exhibition. You will receive an email from the chair of the Design Review Exhibition Committee, and in this email there will be an attached Word document that contains links to the entries that you are assigned to review. In this email, you will also receive a copy of the evaluation rubric for the level of your review. So this may be a rubric for the undergraduate design category or the graduate/professional category. If you recognize any of the designs that you are assigned to review, please let the chair of the Design Review Committee know that you recognize some designs so that you can recuse yourself from the review process. Please also confirm your willingness and ability to serve as a reviewer and complete the reviews assigned within the allocated time frame. So when you receive this email from the chair of the Design Review Committee, you'll receive a Word document that contains links to each of the items that you're asked to review. Inside this Word document will also contain a single hyperlink that will take you to the jury evaluation page. We ask you to please keep this link private as it's a single link that multiple reviewers will use, and you'll need to relaunch the web page each time to complete the jury form. It is also recommended that you use Firefox or Chrome as your browser when completing the review forms. In the past, some reviewers have stated some issues with using Safari, for example. So we recommend Firefox. In this Word document, you will receive a list of entries that looks very similar to this kind of table format at the lower edge of this PowerPoint slide. So you'll first have a column that says the category of the submissions that you'll be reviewing. In this example, it's the professional level. There will then be a number assigned to the entry, the next column over. There'll be a brief name that describes the work of the design piece that you'll be reviewing, as well as a hyperlink that you will click on that will take you to the abstract and images from the submitter. Please know that these links are made up. They won't actually lead you to any submissions. This rubric was developed by the ITAA Scholarship Committee, and this committee developed the criteria for design scholarship. There is a list of criteria that we will go over more in depth on the next page, but briefly, the criteria is there'll be a design mentor statement as well as a clear statement of purpose. These are for the undergraduate submissions only. Then there'll be a contextual review and concept. This category is only for the graduate and professional submissions. And then all submissions should address aesthetic properties and visual impact, their process, technique, and execution, cohesion, and design contribution. The written part of the submission is very important, so please take time to read the abstract before reviewing the images. A very important component is the context. This is where the submitter will be describing pertinent background and current knowledge in relation to the submission. This should include citations of relevant work or design research. This may be of the designer, him or herself, or other designers, and could also reference popular culture or other individuals who have produced work in a similar manner. This doesn't need to be a comprehensive literature review, but it should provide some context to the direction of the design. It's important that the written abstract specifically speaks to the design concept, and within that, the specific design purpose or intention of the submission should be stated, which is a direct result of the previous knowledge and works referenced. This context, concept, and purpose will come from the text. Then you will go to the images and you will be able to evaluate the aesthetic properties and visual impact of the submission. In this section, we ask you to refer back to your knowledge of the elements and principles of design so that they create a compelling and strong visual impact from all views. To evaluate the process, technique, and execution, you will look at both how the design process is explained in the text of the abstract, as well as how the rigorous process is executed through images. The development process should be explained in a structured format that walks the reviewer through a brief step-by-step process that the designer completed in order to create the quality product. You will need to evaluate whether the methods used and described are appropriate. You'll evaluate this by drawing upon your own knowledge and expertise in your field. As a reminder, scholarship and knowledge generation is described as a contribution to something new. Innovation and originality is an important component of the juried process. Please evaluate if it is significantly different or novel in response to what is already on the public domain based upon your personal knowledge and how the designer described the context in the abstract. The Design Review Committee thought it might be helpful to provide the reviewers with some examples of high-quality submissions. High quality is described as high value of points that were earned in previous design exhibition reviews. So as you can see in this example, this is an undergraduate submission. There are areas that are circled in red as kind of these points that needed to be addressed. This submission was very clear in organizing and labeling each of the areas that needed to be addressed using the undergraduate evaluation rubric. So you can see that there is a clear section that is for that design mentor statement, as well as the purpose and context, aesthetic properties, process, technique, and execution, cohesion, and innovation. These abstracts were edited to all fit as best as possible on one page for the sake of this presentation. So please be aware that this was not the format or the layout that the submitter submitted their abstract into. We altered the submission so that it could fit within the one-page presentation. If we look at these areas that are kind of blocked off in gold, these are the examples of things that the review committee thought were done well. If we look at, for example, this process, technique, and execution area, this section below says to represent the spilling foam in coffee on the left side of the garment. Over 28 yards of large piping was crocheted into a chain. The chain was hand-stitched in multiple layers to a mesh underdress. And then the description goes on. So this is a way that you can have an example to see, again, a high-quality description of process as well as techniques utilized by the student submitter. This is another example of a professional or a graduate student level submission. You can see that the criteria outlines just slightly different areas that need to be considered. There is the contextual review and concept, which provides the background knowledge related to the submission, the literature review, and it also should contain multiple citations. It's important to note that, again, this document was edited to fit within the one-page presentation, and so the citation list was removed for the presentation. It is also important to see if the designer clearly met their purpose challenge or their research goal that they had set forth at the beginning of their abstract. When you go to submit your review, you'll use a single hyperlink that was emailed to you. The link that is provided to you will take you directly to the evaluation page for each of the levels of submissions. So the link will take you to either an undergraduate, a graduate, or professional level. If you are signed into your ITAA account before you click on this link, then your email and name entry boxes should autofill with your information. So as you can see in this example below, this is a graduate student submission. The ID number is 201. The short brief title is Rose Explosion, and then we have the link following. So when you click on the hyperlink that is provided to you in the email, a page will launch that is similar to this. Then you will select the category that you're reviewing, click in your ID number, 201 in this example, the brief title, Rose Explosion, which is connected to this example here, and then you will complete your evaluation. After you complete your evaluation of the designs, each entry is reviewed by multiple jurors. Acceptance or rejection for the ITA design exhibition will be based on the average of these scores and in relation to the number of submissions that the conference venue and exhibition will allow. Designers will be notified of acceptance or rejection via email, and this email will also share their average score, reviewer comments, and statistics of submissions. Accepted entries will be published in the design catalog and presented at the annual ITAA conference exhibition. Finally, we wanted to present you with some suggested best practices as you begin your review process. First, we recommend that you print out the evaluation rubric and take hard copy notes before entering your scores on the website submission form. Please review all of the submissions briefly before assigning comments and scores. This will give you an idea of the overall performance and allow you to weigh the work in relation to the whole. Please read the text of the abstract carefully before evaluating the images. And finally, please leave a comment for each of the entries that you review. Be mindful that your comments will be carefully read by the designers. We encourage you to be direct and honest, but not hurtful. Please provide constructive feedback as to how the submission may be improved. We thank you for your time in reviewing this juror video. Please make sure that you submit your evaluations by the outlined deadline. And if for any reason you have any technical issues, are unable to complete the review within the assigned deadline, or simply no longer wish to participate as a reviewer, please contact the Design Review Committee Chair directly. Thank you again.